Manipulate means that you use something tactfully for your own interest. So how we do this with language, you will know in this module. Again, these are views of Noam Chomsky. Chomsky says that he invented the term universal grammar that has a technical meaning. Now he will explain through these examples that how language is manipulated. He says that to present my language theory, I defined a term, universal grammar, and I defined it in a particular specific meaning. And what is that meaning? He used this term as the term, we will know that he used this term in a particular sense later on. I would explain another phenomenon, another example, so that you may understand Chomsky's point of view. He says that I use this term, universal grammar, as force is used in a technical sense in the discipline of physics. In physics, force never means military force. Okay. Similarly, he says I have defined the term universal grammar in linguistics, and it never means what people have taken it for. Similarly, he used the term UG. Now he explains that as physicists have used force, which doesn't mean military force, I have used this universal grammar, this term of universal grammar in linguistics to mean genetic part of our language. Language has a genetic part and a social part. Okay, the genetic part is called universal grammar. This part has nothing to do with political power. Now, what actually happened when he defined this term in this sense, others took this term to mean political power. Universal grammar means political power. UG never says that a language A is more powerful than language B. Now he explains that this was not what I meant by this term. It is taken as power, that some languages are powerful and some languages are powerless. He said, I am not talking about that. UG never says that language A is more powerful than language B. It just says that language faculty behind language A and B, the ability that is behind both languages is the same. This is what it means. But people mistook it, misinterpreted that Chomsky is talking about power, about political power. Definition of terms makes simple concepts as complicated. Why? For manipulation, for particular purposes, for particular agenda. And he wants to explain this point through example of universal grammar. Chomsky says that this straightforward term was mistaken by the people. If he had a second chance to define UG, now look what he says. अगर दूसरी दफ़ा मैं इसको define करूँ, to avoid this kind of misinterpretation, misunderstanding, so I could have used more technical definition. because simple definitions create problems. So I would use very difficult technical definitions so that people may not misinterpret my definition. But he says, even if I do that, even then, human irrationality is incurable. फिर भी people यही करते हैं, फिर भी दूसरे लोग यही करते हैं, because irrationality is incurable. इसका कोई इलाज नहीं है. This irrational attitude is not treatable. People will have again done the same thing. He says that when he used the term knowledge, another example. He says, when I use the term knowledge of language, we are born with knowledge of language. We don't learn our first languages. These scholars of knowledge chase them. Philosophers of knowledge, they attack this definition. They define knowledge as truth. वो knowledge का मतलब सच्चाई लेते हैं. And Chomsky defined knowledge to mean how words relate mind with word. How we know word through words. This is knowledge, according to his definition. Then Chomsky used competence, another term, in place of knowledge of language. People mistook it as communicative competence, whereas he was not defining it in that sense. Actually, we define concept. This is the bottom line. Actually, we define concepts the way they suit us. We manipulate language. So we conclude on the basis of our talk. We discussed views of Chomsky with his own examples, and he tried to convince us that we define terms for our own interests. We manipulate language for our own purposes. We want to give words meaning according to our own views and interests and ideologies. So what we do in defining terms, same states do to promoting their ideologies and their agendas and their dominant culture. So this is the conclusion of the modules. I think the module that is about language and power, we have 2 modules on it. So this is collective conclusion of both the modules, that language is used to define world as dominant culture wants us to define, and this is the thing that is called manipulation of language.